Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
how are you? I'm fine, thank you. I'm sorry for the delay. Okay, so
No.
Hello.
hi, how are you?
Thank you very much. Are you okay?
Okay, very good. So everything is all right.
Yes.
Everything is all right on the 22nd of Bahman.
Yes, sure. Yeah, of course. And at long last, we got to hold the third session of this class. So,
Yes.
any questions that you
Mhm.
have? We want to review and do some new stuff too. Okay, do you have any
Yes.
questions from the books?
From the books, lesson 3 and 4.
Listen, no, do you
Um,
have any questions? Questions. Do you have any questions, Shireen?
from what?
Previous lessons.
Previous lesson?
Yes.
No.
No? Okay, so
Mhm.
no questions from these books either, right?
Yes.
Okay. So before we do the
But
review,
I have
yes.
a question.
Yes,
Excuse me.
sure.
I have a question
Mhm.
from lesson 3 and 4.
Yes, lesson 3 and 4 are which book?
Which book? Grammar for IELTS.
Grammar files. Okay, which page?
Mm-hmm.
Which page?
121.
121. Okay, is this the page?
Uh,
Can you
yes.
see? Okay.
In your page is correct, but in my book, beside 120 right, printed درس دوم.
Ah, yes, we fixed that one.
درس سوم.
Yes, thank you. But yes, we fixed that one. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And next question is one.
Yes.
In 173.
173. Okay. Yes.
The telephone allowed two people to communicate instantly across a great distance.
Yes.
I wrote aloud, but can we wrote allow because it's a fact, and there is
Ah, you
right
mean
now.
allows. Allows, not allow.
Yes.
Yes, but yes, we
allow.
could, of course. But the exercise was about past simple. That's why we used allowed. But yes, generally speaking, you can use present simple.
Okay. Okay. And also in the next sentence, eventually, computers replaced typewriters and dramatically increases the speed of our daily work life. We can use increases in this text also.
Of course not. No. First of all, because it's computers and it's plural, so you don't say increases. And second of all, because it was about something in the past. The writer talks about the moment when, not the moment, but the era when computers were introduced to people of the world, and they replaced typewriters. So you can't say it as a fact because it happened once in the past. You cannot say it as a fact. You can say that computers are used instead of, for example, typewriters these days. That is a fact. But this thing happened in the past, and the writer is only referring to that time, that era.
Okay, thank you. The next question. What's for lesson 4?
Yeah. What page is
what's
it?
the meaning of?
I'm sorry, what page is it? I should find the page.
183.
83.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I want to know the equivalent of used to in Farsi.
We don't have an
Because
equivalent in Farsi. We don't have equivalents for everything. Instead of used to, we use some tense in Farsi. قبلنا, for example, I used to visit my grandparents every Thursday. قبلنا هر پنجشنبه میرفتم دیدن مادر بزرگم. It's just a tense. There's no equivalent for it. میرفتم.
میرفتم.
Yes. I used to wake up. Yes, go on.
I translate it for myself always عادت داشتم. But
I think I explained this at the end of this lesson, that in some grammar books, they say that used to is used for habits in the past. That is just partially true.
Habit.
Yes. In grammar books, you learned it like that, or also in school. At school, they taught you that you should use used to for talking about past habits. That is correct, but just partially correct. It's not the only time when you use used to. That's why you think you should just say عادت داشتم. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You could say it.
Because I used to have something. نمیتونیم بگیم عادت داشتم داشته باشم.
Exactly. I used to have a car. Now I just own a bicycle. قبلا یه ماشین داشتم. الان دوچرخه دارم. See, even the tense changed in here. I didn't say می داشتم. I said داشتم. اما اونجا به دیدن پدر بزرگم اینا میرفتم. So there's no one equivalent in Farsi. You should look for the correct translation. Okay? And there are different translations for it. Always pay attention to the context. Yes. What was next?
And we can use it for action and position, both of them. Yes.
Do you mean position? Position, right?
منظورم هم برای حالت ها میتونیم استفاده کنیم، هم برای مثلا کارهای فیزیکی. مثلا I used to have.
For example, I used to be fat. I used to be fat. یه حالته, okay? هیچ اکشنی توش نیست. I used to be fat. Let me type this. I used to be fat.
Or I used to enjoy.
Yes, exactly. Very good. I used to enjoy storybooks. Now I don't. Yes, sure, of course.
Okay. And the meaning of would have می داشتم.
It depends again on the context. You have to give me a sentence. Just like used to, you cannot just put one translation for would or used to. You always have to pay attention to the context. I would visit my grandparents every Thursday. That is correct. The same translation. هر پنجشنبه میرفتم دیدن پدر بزرگ و مادر بزرگم. In here, I say میرفتم. That word, would or used to, is not actually translated. You know?
Okay.
There's no translation for that.
Yes.
We only translate the verb. Because we don't have an equivalent in Farsi.
Yes. And for example, the first sentence, I used to have short hair when I was a teenager.
Yes.
We couldn't use I would have short hair.
No, I would have short hair.
Why?
Let me think.
Why?
Because of have. Let me think about it. I would have short hair. No. See, would was only used for the third application of simple past. What was the third application of simple past? Things that you did at intervals in the past. Okay, do you remember that? Lesson 3 was about this.
Yeah.
Lesson 3 was application number 3 and 4 of past simple. Now that you said it, I want to explain. Because for application number 3, You do something,
Mhm.
there's an action. You do something at intervals. No, you did something at intervals in the past. When you talk about having
Mhm.
something, owning something, like having hair, having short
Mhm.
hair, having long hair, it's not something that's an action. It's not an action. It's ownership of something, something that
Mhm.
used to be true at some time, a long or short time in the
Mhm.
past. That is application number 4. And with application number 4
Mhm.
of simple past, we don't use would. We only use used to.
Mhm. Uh-huh. And the next one, number 2.
Mhm.
We would go. You wrote in answers.
Mhm.
We would go to the same little cafe.
Yes.
But we can't use we used to go
We could, yeah, of
because
course. Was it emitted?
خب.
Yes, of course you can say it. We would go to the same little
because-
cafe. We used to go to the same. Both are correct. Also, we went to the same little cafe. All of them can be used.
Because just in the answer
Mhm.
you typed you would go to the same little cafe.
I see. Okay, we should
think.
correct that. Did I say that it's only would, or there was just would there? Let me see. Page
Just
183, number 2.
84 میشه.
We would go to the same little cafe when I was. Okay. We need to add used to here too. Thank you very much. Yes, sure.
And
Okay.
for number 3, just used to,
That is
because
love.
love is
Yes. Yes, of course, because
stative
love is
verb.
stative. Yes. And you
Yes.
don't use
And
would with
number
stative
4,
verbs. If you don't use would with stative verbs, if you mean past simple. If you mean something conditional, then you can use would with love. I would love to visit you sometime. That's a conditional.
Yes.
That's the result clause of a
Yes.
conditional. Okay, what else?
And number 4,
Mhm.
we can use both of them. Used to walk, would walk.
Yes, because of every evening, yes. Sure.
And there is in answers just would
Just
walk.
would, yes.
And number 5, also I would always lose when I play chess with my family.
I would always
And
lose when I play chess with my father. Yes.
with my father. And we can't use used to, yes?
I would always lose. Why not used to? Yes, we can. I used to always lose,
Because
yes.
lose.
When I what? When I played?
Play chess with my
Played, yes.
father. That's every time. Every time I play chess. When in here means every time. Yes, because these were ready-made answers. I didn't go through them. We should add used to too. Thank you very much. So I would always lose. I used to lose. Yes, very good.
And number 6, to be able to dance very well, just used to.
Yes,
Yes?
yes. Why?
Because it's a position.
Why?
Because it's a position and حالتیه.
Because
it's not
of be.
active.
The verb be.
Be.
The verb be is a stative verb.
Yes, be a stative
Because
verb.
to be always talks about different states. I am sad. I am hungry. I am mad. These are states of mind. There's no action in be.
And the next one is my grandfather. Both of them used to drink and would drink.
After dinner every night. Yes, of course. Yes.
And the next one just number 8. The next one just used to because it's negative.
Look,
And we
did,
can
yes.
use.
Yes, of course.
And number 9, we used to live in Brazil.
We used
couldn't
to live.
use.
No, not would, because this is application number 4.
4.
Yes. And
And the
I just
last
looked at the
one.
title of the question. If it's possible, make a sentence with would. If it's not possible, use used to. That's why they didn't include these answers, okay? Because they wanted, but I think we should add these because students might think that they're wrong, but they're not. Yes, what was the next question?
Yeah. And the next one is my family often used to go and would go. Both of
Go
them
to the
is
countryside
correct.
for the weekend when I was young. Yes, that's application number. My family would often go. My family used to go to the countryside. Yes, used to too.
Yeah. And next one in page, on page
yes.
188, the last page,
Yes,
in last paragraph.
yes.
We can use in page 177.
On page.
You mentioned on
Yes.
page. You mentioned we can use would just with have to.
Have to.
But
Yes, no, that is
have
the
to.
part that you asked that session. It was a free discussion session, and you mentioned the lines that you read in Michelle Obama's book. Remember? And then I said that
Yes.
we should omit on page 176, we should omit have to and has to, and also add this explanation that it's not only for conditionals. It's not only for conditionals. It could be conditional, but it's not just and necessarily conditionals. Yes, this is one of the points that we corrected in the new PDF of the book.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear.
That-
Thank you very much.
That
So,
that
no
is
question
all.
from the other book?
No.
No? Okay. So before you start the review, let me introduce this one. It's a book called IELTS Speaking Actual. It's commonly known as actual tests in Iran. Okay? And it's a quarterly. Do you know what a quarterly is, Shireen?
Quarterly, no.
What is a quarterly, Bezat?
Quarterly. Does it have anything to do with quarter?
Yes, it does. Yes. It's a quarterly.
Quarter
It's
mean-
not a magazine. It's not a newspaper. It's a quarterly.
Oh, yes. It comes every season.
Yes. Every season you have one new edition of IELTS Speaking Actual Tests. Of course, it's not just for speaking. It's for listening, reading, and writing tests too. And of course, the answers are there. For the listening and reading, it's good, of course, to check the answers. But for speaking and writing, I do not at all suggest the answers. But I like the questions. The questions are good. They're various, and they help you think about different stuff. So we will work on different questions of these quarterlies, IELTS actual tests. But please do not focus on the answers. Okay, the answers are not good. I don't think they're even good for getting ideas. You need to make up your own answers. Okay, so before that, you need to review, right? Do you have anything to say?
For review?
Yes, you were supposed to do the review. Are you ready for the review?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
The first thing that you've mentioned.
You mentioned? Yes. Because we know we're talking about the first session. We know when it was. So you mentioned, not you've mentioned.
You
Yeah.
your feet. You told me, and it means just think while you are talking to me, and while you're answering, think.
Yes.
And the first question was about my favorite animal, and I have to say I love all animals, not
Yes.
I love animals. I love all animals is correct. The next one is used to, for example, when I was a child, I used to play with cats,
Yes.
or I used to have a very cute cat.
Yes.
And the next one, the meaning of learn in this context. What can you learn about people from the animals? Do you like? And in
Animals they
here
like.
it means
What can you learn about people from the animals they like? Not do you like? Yes.
what the animals they like. And it learn in here it means understand and get information.
Yes.
And you told me some expression like I've heard that, I've been said that, I've watched, I've noticed that, and the next one is dog person and dog people, cat person and cat people.
Yes.
And there are two types of people, dog person and cat person. The next one is I don't know, archaic. You said,
Yes,
for
archaic.
example,
Yes.
those who or they who is archaic.
No, what was the sentence?
I
What was
didn't
the
get
sentence? I don't remember. What was the sentence? Give me the sentence. Those who is just one phrase. Archaic means خیلی قدیمی, ancient, like ancient. باستانی, مدل خیلی. But what was the sentence? I don't remember it. What was it?
Unfortunately, I didn't write it.
You didn't write it.
But archaic, yes. I'll check it for the next session.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Archaic.
Did you say I'll check or I check?
I'll check.
Yes, very good. I'll check. Very good. Okay.
And the next one is feline. Feline relating to cats or other members of cat family.
Yes.
Poultry, domestic birds such as chicken, dog, and that, and something like that.
Yes. Very good.
Are kept on. And the next one is the preposition for the street. If there is no name for the street, we have to use in the street.
Yes.
If we know the name of the street, we have to use on, for example, on England Street.
Yes.
And with a number, for example, at for the street.
Yes, very good. Yes.
And that is all.
That is all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start the new session with the new questions. Okay, I'm not sharing the screen anymore because I don't want you to see the answers. So who wants to go first?
Yes.
Yes, me.
Okay. So the first section, again, we're working on the first section of the speaking, and you need to provide short answers, okay? Don't talk much, but try to focus on different grammatical structures and expressions that you can use. So, question number 1, do you know anything about growing plants?
Growing plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
You took so long, Behzad. You took so long to say your first word.
Yes.
What do? In such situations, you have to say something. Like, you don't want to show that you don't know anything and nothing comes to your mind. So you have to think on your feet. What do you do?
I know a lot about it because I grew up in a house in which we had a lot of plants and trees and flowers.
No. That's good. That's good, Bezat. But no, I was talking about the pause. Instead of making that long pause, you have to do something. You have to say, well, let me think about it. Or, I think I know the answer to that question. Okay, you have to make up your own sentences when nothing comes to your mind. Okay, now go on. You said from the top. Do you know anything about growing plants?
Actually, I know a lot about it because I grew up in a house in which we had a lot of plants, flowers, and trees, and because of that, I got to learn a lot about raising plants and growing plants, and because of that habit, I continue to study and learn more about it.
Enough.
And nowadays,
that's enough. For number one, it's enough. And the examiner might stop you too. Don't worry if they do that. It doesn't mean that they don't like your answer or anything. They just have to move on to the next answer. Okay? Excuse me. Next question. You said raising plants while you were talking.
is that correct?
I never heard that. I'm checking it. I know growing plants, but I never raises for children and sometimes animals. But let me check to make sure. No, it's just raising nurseries. Raising. Yes, we do. You can use it. Yes, that is correct. So raising and growing, yes, both are correct. So, Shirin, you answered the same question. Do you know anything about growing plants?
Yes, my father always loves all planets, and
wait.
we had.
Wait. Don't rush, Shirin. Okay, because the speed has no point. Of course, you don't have to be slow, but the speed has no point. So from the top again. Do you know anything about growing plants?
Yes, because fortunately I used to live in a house with a big garden, and my father loves all plants, and he is a good garden.
Okay, now wait, Shirin. That was a good sentence. You said my father loves plants and he's a good gardener. You mean gardener, right? But see, that was simple present. Let me type it. Bezot, you don't help, okay? Let her. My father loves plants and he is a good gardener. That was your sentence. How else can you say it to make it more beautiful and show off your grammar?
He
my father, not he, because you first mentioned him. We don't know who. My father.
My father loves plants.
That's the same sentence. No, I mean use another tense, not loves, not present simple.
My father have loved. Has loved.
Can you make it better? Add an adverb. Add an adverb. Use an adverb.
My father always, ever.
Has always, no, not ever. Has always loved plants. You can say it like that. Make it more beautiful. Now do the same with the second part of your sentence. You said he's a good gardener.
He's a good gardener.
The same tense.
He's
Use the same tense.
He had to be
No.
to he
Beza,
has
don't
been
help.
a
Yes.
good gardener.
Yes. Now use an adverb.
He has always been a good gardener.
Very good. Very good. Now, because it's for the speaking test, you don't have to use full forms of sentences. You need to shorten them. So instead of saying he has always been a good gardener, you can say he's always been a good gardener. Okay, go on.
And I helped him to gardening when I was a child.
No, wait. Better don't help, okay? Let her. You said I helped her to gardening. Did you say to gardening?
Yes.
Okay.
Or I can use I used I
very
would
good. Used to. I used to help him, not to, but with.
help
With gardening.
with gardening.
I used to help him
With
with
gardening.
gardening. Yes, gardening.
And I've learned a lot of gardening from my father.
Very good.
And right now I have a lot of plants in my apartment.
Yes.
And I love them.
So
I
instead of have,
I love.
okay, that was a good sentence, Shirin. You said I have a lot of plants, okay? But instead of have, what else can you say to make it better?
I
use a own. Yes, you can use own too. Yes, of course. I own a lot of plants. Yes. What else? Let me type this. I think you can also use take care of. Hello? Hello? Shirin, can you hear me?
A lot of plants belong.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, you just broke up. So I said you can use take care of too. I take care of a lot of plants. Hello? Shirin, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's good. So,
Hello?
yes, hi. Okay. If it happens again, we can get disconnected and get connected again and log back in, okay? So, Shirin, you said that instead of have, you can say own, and also I said use take care of. Can you say it like that? Go on.
Take care of.
I take care of a lot of plants.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
But instead of take care of, which is present simple, you can use another tense to show off your knowledge of grammar. You can use present perfect continuous. Can you do it? Present perfect continuous.
I've taken care of. I've been taking.
Very good. Yes, go on.
I've been taking care of a lot of plants.
Yes, very good. Then you can mention a time too, for example, since I don't know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Okay, that was good and enough for part one. Now, based on the second question, the second one is
Yes.
repetitious. Okay. Did you grow any plants when you were young?
Yeah, I have the experience of growing plants when I was a child because I grew up in an environment that people used to have a lot of plants and trees in their own yards.
Wait,
So
wait.
it happened to me,
Wait,
and
wait.
actually I
You
did
said
that.
I grew up in an environment that people used to have a lot of trees. Hello?
Trees, yes.
Yes. Now pay attention
Yes.
to the part where you use that. Let me type your sentence. I grew up in an environment that people used to have a lot
In
of.
which?
Aha, very good. Okay, so instead of that, you say in which.
Yes.
In which. Or in which is very,
In
you
which?
know, in which is very formal. Instead of in which, what else can you say?
Where?
Where, very good, excellent. Where people had a lot of trees. Yes, go on.
Yeah, because I grew up in an environment where people used to have a lot of trees and grow plants in their own yard. So it happened to me and I did that.
Okay, now you have to mention something. For example, I grew, I don't know, an apple tree. Okay.
And I remember for the first time when I was 9 years old, I, planted the first tree in my life.
Yes.
And that was my first experience.
Okay, what was it? Of course, they won't ask this question. That is for section 3. But okay, let's go.
It was, I need to, say the name of the tree.
No, I said, I was just joking because, for the first section, they don't ask that. They just ask one question and whatever you say, there will be no follow-ups, okay? So let's go to Shirin. Shirin, you? Did you grow any plants when you were young?
Yes, when I was a child,
Yes.
When I was 9 years old,
Yes.
we have a science class, and my teacher I had a science class, and my teacher wanted us to put a bean,
Yes.
bean in water and growing it.
And grow it.
And
okay, wait.
And grow it.
Shirin, this is where you can use another beautiful tense instead of just simple past. You said our teacher wanted us to grow some beans. And after that, you want to mention that you went home and grew some beans. That's what you want to say, right?
Yes.
So what your teacher asked you happened before you grew those beans. What is the tense that we use in this case?
She had
She had asked us. She had asked us.
Excellent.
She had asked us.
Yes, say it. Say the whole sentence.
She'd asked us. She'd asked us.
In here, I don't recommend the shorter form. Okay, say the full form because that could be mistaken with would, and it shouldn't be. So she had asked us.
She had asked us to grow a bean, and it was my first experience, and it was very nice for me because I can see every day a lot of changes. I could see a lot of changes in a very little plant, and after that, I would help my father in gardening.
After that, I would help
So-
my father with the gardening, of course. I would help my father with the gardening. You can mention the time too. For example, every day, every weekend. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Okay. There's a delay
Yes.
too. There's a delay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So let's go to the next set of questions. This time, Shirin, I ask you first, and then we'll go to Bezat, okay?
Okay.
So the questions are going to be about public transport. Do you travel by public transport?
Yes, I've traveled with public transport because it can use it. It helps to environment, and sometimes
No, Shirin, it helps
mm,
too is not English. It helps the environment, okay? But first of all, when someone asks you, I mean the examiner asks you a question, see if you can divide the question into 2-3 parts. When I say, do you travel by public transport? Now that there's Corona and, you know, because of Corona, you don't travel by bus and stuff. It's a very good opportunity for using used to and talking about the past and then the present and then the future. This way you can show off your grammar a lot.
Okay.
So I'll
used
ask it
to.
again. I'll ask it again. You can mention before Corona or stuff.
Okay.
Do you travel by public transport?
During the coronavirus, unfortunately, I don't use it, but I used to use public transport before it, and because it's very fast, and also it helps to have a clear environment and have a fresh air. But during the corona, I preferred to travel by my own car or by taxi like Snap and something like that.
Okay, so you kept mentioning during the coronavirus. That's not correct. What else can you say?
During the corona, during coronavirus?
No. Bezat, what can you say?
During the coronavirus is not correct?
No, it's not correct.
During pandemic.
Yes, during the pandemic. During the pandemic, not
Uh-huh.
during coronavirus. Okay, so Bezat, now it's your turn. Do you travel by public transport?
Yes, but some years ago that I, lived in a place which was far away from my work. I used to use public transport a lot, but nowadays I rarely need to use public transport because my home and my workplace are very close to each other. But whenever I want to go to downtown or bazaar,
No,
I
wait.
prefer not to use my own car
Wait,
and use public transport.
Bezat, you don't go to downtown. You go downtown. Okay? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You just
But
paused and I
yes,
thought maybe I remember no two before downtown. Let me check and make sure.
thank
And
you.
before, now that I'm
Whenever
checking, do you remember an expression I taught you some sessions ago when your workplace is near your home?
No.
No?
We missed this session.
We what is you missed? He missed this session? I don't think so. Really?
No, because I think you didn't record it.
Ah, yes, that was correct. Yes.
Yeah.
That was within walking distance. Yes. But now I'm recording it. Within walking distance. Okay. Within walking distance. Do you remember that? Does it ring a bell?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say my workplace is within walking distance.
Yes. And you don't have
So
to use public transport.
Yeah, I don't have to use public transport, but whenever I want to go downtown
Yes.
or bazaar, I prefer to use not to use my own car and use public transport instead.
Yes, that was good, very good. Short and to the point. And also, instead of saying I use my own car, which is of course correct, it's more American to say I drive my own car. I don't drive my own car. I drive or I don't drive. Just like that too. So within and I go downtown, no to after it. I mean before it, not to. Okay, so Shirin, back to you for the next question. When was the last time you traveled by public transport?
I have to think about it because it's
excellent.
During after the coronavirus, after the pandemic, I didn't use public transport, but just I used the last time that I used public transport was exactly before lockdown.
Before the lockdown.
Before the lockdown, I used train in metro station, and I traveled to on Engelab Street.
No, you traveled
for buying.
You traveled to. This to does not have anything to do with the street. It does have things to do with travel.
To travel to Engelab Street for buying some books. And it was very crowded because
that's enough.
It was
that's enough. Thank you. But that was very good. Before you answered and before you remembered what to say, you said, I have to think about it. That was very good. Excellent. Bravo. Okay, now, Bezat, your turn. When was the last time you traveled by public transport?
I can say the last time that I used public transport refers to several months ago. I mean, actually, it was before the lockdowns, and for an emergency, I needed to use public transport because my car was خراب بود.
Yes.
My car was out of
order.
Yes.
Yes. That's it. Hello?
I think that's it. Yes.
Okay, there was a long pause. What's wrong with you? You make so much long pauses today. So many. Okay, before we go to you, Bezat, Shirin, you said this. You were saying metro station. Metro is, of course, correct, but that's British English. In American English, they say subway station. Subway station.
Subway.
Yes. So, yes, it was then that you used... what did you use, did you say? The bus or the train?
Actually, the subway.
The subway. You didn't mention that, okay? So mention something.
Yes.
You took the subway because your car was broken down and you couldn't drive it.
Or I can say I had a flat tire.
Yes, very good. You can make it up, okay? Don't let, not remembering or forgetfulness stop you from talking when you're at the speaking test. If you don't remember something from the past, just make it up. Doesn't matter. Okay, Shirin, back to you. What don't you like about public transport?
It's a little bit funny because the smell of people.
Oh, I see.
I can't stand.
I can't stand it.
I can't stand it. And it's a big problem. It's my big problem for public transportation.
Okay, now wait, Shirin. That is good. That was a good answer. You had it ready. That was great. But pay attention to the tense. It's just simple present.
Yes.
So
I can't stand the smell of people.
okay, wait.
And it
No, it's just again, it's present simple. You can't do it. Present perfect.
The smell of people.
Present perfect. No, no. Start with I, but use present perfect. How can you change? How can you use can with present perfect?
Can.
Yes, Bezod, you don't say anything. Okay, I want Shirin to do it. You cannot say I have can. You can't say that. You have to change it.
I could.
No, with present perfect.
I could. Present perfect.
Yes.
I can with present perfect.
Yes, I want you. Yes, of course. When I say can with present perfect, it means that you cannot use can with present perfect. But you want to say something with can and also use the tense of present perfect. So what do you turn can, excuse me, how do you change can? You have to use something else instead. What is it?
Able.
Very good. Now make that sentence. هرگز نتونستم بوی مردم رو تحمل کنم. How do you say that one in English?
I've never been able.
Very good, excellent. Yes, I've never been able to tolerate people's body odor. Body odor. بوی بدنشون. Of course, smell is correct too, but body odor or BO for short term, for short form, is what they say too. I've never been able to stand or tolerate people's body odor.
Stand. I've never been able to tolerate people's body odors.
Yes. On the subway, on the train, on the bus. Yes. Yes, go on. Can you add something else?
Something that always bothers me.
No, again, Shirin, again, present perfect. Something that always bothers me, no, that's simple present.
And something always.
No. Present perfect continuous. Something
has
no. At first you use that. Use that again. Something that.
Something that always.
Present perfect. Present perfect. Beza, don't. Okay, let her. I can hear you. Okay.
Something that has been
now
bothering me.
Add always to. Something that has always been bothering me. Present perfect continuous.
Has always been bothering me is arguing between people, especially among women.
Among people, especially among women, not between, because between is between two people. You mean more than two. You mean on the subway, right?
Yes.
Okay. Of course, the examiner doesn't ask you these follow-up questions in the first section, okay? So don't expect that. Okay, thank you very much. Let me go ask Behzad Okay, how about you, Bezat? What don't you like about public transport?
There are little things that I dislike about public transport.
Okay, wait.
For example,
Wait.
when
There are little things?
that I
No.
dislike,
Little is correct?
there are a few things.
A few things. Yes, very good. Go on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few things that I dislike about public transport.
Very good.
For example, when it's very crowded and people argue to each other, and especially when there is a delay for the train to, get the station. These are the time that, these are the things that bother me, and I don't like about public transport. But all in all, I think public transport has a lot of advantages.
That's off topic.
And I prefer.
Okay, that's off topic. I just asked you about things you don't like. Okay, don't go to things that you like about it. Okay.
Yes.
So let's go to the next set of questions. Shirin, you first. No, Bezat, you first again. Do you, that's a funny question. Do you sometimes go to bed late?
Do you sometimes go to where?
Bed. Go to bed late.
Oh, yes. It happens a lot to me, especially when I'm on night shift. I go to bed.
Yes. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I go and wait. Yes.
Okay, you broke up. I didn't hear anything. Okay, from the top, please.
Yeah. It is something that happens to me a lot, especially when I'm on night shifts. I go to bed very late, but whenever I'm at home and I can manage my time, I prefer to go to bed very early.
Okay, that was good. That was a good answer, but it was very simple. Couldn't you make it better?
Oh, yes.
Focus on the grammar, the vocabulary that you know. Of course, you mentioned night shift. That was good. But other than that, you just said, oh, go to bed early, go to bed late. And that was just simple, very simple. But that's okay. Let's go to Shirin. Now, Shirin, how about you? Do you sometimes go to bed late?
Yes, but I'm a morning person and I'm very energetic in the morning, and most of the time I went to the bed early.
No. Shirin, you're too fast right now. Focus on the sentences. Are you talking about your habits? You don't use past simple in here. If they're your current habits. You said I went to bed.
Okay. I'm a morning person, and in the evening, and when the sun is rising,
is rising. When the sun is rising or when the sun is up? Go on.
When the sun is rising, I became sleeping.
No.
And I like to.
No, Shirin, focus. You said I became sleeping. That's not a correct sentence.
I become sleeping.
Or instead of become, you can use another verb that's more informal. What is it? Bezat, do you know that?
Yes.
What is it?
I get.
Yes, very good. Say it. Shirin, say it.
I get.
Yes.
I get sleep.
Sleepy. Yes, very good.
Sleepy.
I get sleepy. Yes, very good. Yes, exactly. Go on.
And I go to bed. I go to bed early most of the time, but sometimes, for example, on the weekend, I go to bed late.
Yes.
but
See,
I
instead of
don't.
go
I
to bed
like.
late, Shirin Bezat, instead of saying go to bed late, which was in the question, you can rephrase, you can paraphrase, say it in another way. What can you say? Instead of saying that you go to bed late, you can say it in another way. Does anything come to your mind?
I sleep late.
I sleep late. Yes, that's one. What else?
یعنی به جاش بگیم
Yes.
تا دیر وقت بیدار
Yes,
میمونم.
exactly. Now say it in English. I stay up.
Yes.
I stay up late. You can say that too. Yes. Okay. Now the next question. Behzat, your turn. What do you do when you stay up late?
Usually when I go to bed late, I try to do my paperwork and check my email, and actually it happens 2 or 3 times during the week, and in this time that I have an extra time to do my کارهای عقب مونده. چی میشه؟
Wait, Behzat. At such times, not in this time. At such times.
Yes.
اینجور وقتها. You can say that, for example, when I'm behind my schedule, یعنی وقتی از برنامه‌هام عقبم. Okay, I don't have anything about کارهای عقب مونده. I don't have anything now. But make a sentence with this. Maybe something comes to my mind.
Yeah, and when I'm behind my schedule, at this time, I try to do that.
Wait.
And
instead of do, you can use another phrasal verb. I try to catch up.
Yes.
Okay? I try to catch up. Okay.
Catch up.
Yes, go on. Or from the top. From the top. I interrupted you a lot.
Yeah. Actually, it happens to me 2 or 3 times during the week that I go to bed late, and at these times, I try to catch up, especially when I'm behind the schedule. When I'm behind my schedule.
Yes. Was that it?
Yes.
Too short, I think. At least one more sentence. That was too short. Okay, just continue until the examiner stops you.
And at this time, I try to catch up when I'm behind my schedule. For example, the last time that I go to bed late, I remember that I was, writing my proposal for my thesis.
You can also, at these times, you can also mention exceptions. Okay, you talked about things that you usually do when you stay up. But you can talk about exceptions too. For example, you can say that sometimes I watch a movie. Sometimes I read a book. Sometimes I play with my children. Okay, like that. Okay, let me check. I wanted to find something about things that are behind schedule. Hurry and finish soon. The project is behind schedule. I can't find anything now. Okay, have to look for it. Okay, now Shirin, your turn. What do you do when you stay up late?
Most of the time, I've never stayed up late, but it happened.
Most of the time, I have never stayed up late. Is that sentence correct?
I don't stay up.
No, it's a habit, right? You're talking about your habits. That most of the time you don't do that. So that is present simple.
Most of the time, I don't stay up late. I like to go to bed early. but it happens when, for example, I have some guests
Happens.
or
It
it
happens.
happens when, for example, I have some guests or I was invited.
Or I am invited. Again, you're talking about a fact. Or I am invited. Don't change into past suddenly. Yes. Shirin, you said it happens when I have guests. That is correct. Instead of guests, what else can you say? Another thing that means the same as guests.
Whenever I have someone over.
That is good. Very good. When I have someone over. What else? That's too informal. Something else?
When I hold a party, throw a party.
When I throw a party, that is good. Hold a party is very formal, yes. When I throw a party, also company. Company means guests too. You don't pluralize it. You don't use articles with it. I have company. It could be just one guest, two guests, or a lot of them. But I have company. مهمون دارم. Whenever I have company.
Whenever I have company,
Yes, whenever I
or
have company.
or when I am invited,
or when I am invited.
to a party.
Yes.
And
just that, just those times. Very good. Now, the last question. Bezat, how do you feel when you have stayed up late the night before?
Actually, how do you feel when
you have stayed up late the night before?
Yeah. Actually, I have the experience. I have the experience of being sleep deprived.
Very good.
And whenever it happens, whenever it happens to me, the day after, I will be sleepy, and I wouldn't be, that patient that I used to be. And as soon as possible that I have time, I try to, I try to sleep, and I try to جبران کردن
make up for it.
Compensate my sleep.
No.
I try
make up for it.
to
I try to
make up for it.
Yes, make up for it. And also, Bezat, when you were talking, you said, I will be sleep deprived the next day, and then suddenly you turned into would. And you said, I wouldn't be, I don't know, that patient. Okay? Don't do that.
Yes.
Okay? Be consistent with the tenses. Don't switch to past simple, or, I don't know, do, present perfect, however, just be consistent with it. If you're talking about just one thing and you're using present simple, use present simple. See, at first you said, I will be sleep deprived. And then you said, I wouldn't be that patient. If you want to use conditionals in your answers, then use conditionals from the beginning. Okay? Don't swap horses in the midstream. Yes? What was your question?
یعنی بهتر بود اینجا چی میگفتم؟
همون ویدو میگفتید. یهو وسطش گفتید wouldn't. نکنید اولین جمله رو گفتید I will be sleep deprived. بعد جمله بعدی رو گفتید I wouldn't be that patient. این یه خورده ناهمگونی داره. همینجوری میخواید جمله بسازید ایراد نداره ها، ولی اون میشه کندیشنال خیلی هم خوب میشد اگه با همون کندیشنال شروع میکردید، ولی اولش با ویل گفتید. اینجا اصلا ناموزونه این وسط. Okay? We should work on conditionals when you answer the questions too. But right now we're just working on present perfect and used to and would and stuff. Yes, go on, please.
From the top, I have the experience of being sleep deprived, and whenever it happens to me, the day after, I will be,
Sleepy.
I won't be, yes?
I don't know what you want to say. I won't be what?
Yeah, I will be sleepy.
Uh-huh.
I will be sleepy,
Yes.
and I will not be that patient that
Normally
that
am. That I normally am.
that I normally, yes, that I normally am,
Yes.
and whenever and yeah, in this case, whenever I have time, I try to make up for it.
You can also say make up for the lost time. The lost time for the sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, Shirin, your turn
you.
to answer the last question. How do you feel when you have stayed up late the night before?
If I stay up late, the next day I will be sleepy, and I wake up automatically at 7 a.m. and I tolerate sleepy until the day is over.
No, wait, Shirin. You said I tolerate sleepy. Beso don't help, okay? I want you to correct it. I tolerate, let me type it. I tolerate sleepy until the day is over. Was that your sentence?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That is not correct. But why? Can you correct it yourself?
I tolerate sleep. Sleepy is adverb here?
No, sleepy is an adjective.
Adjective. I have to use noun?
Yes, of course.
I tolerate sleepiness.
Sleepiness. Sleepiness. Sleepiness until the day is over. Yes, go on. Or you can say it from the top if you feel better.
From the top.
If you feel better. از اول. From the top یعنی از اول. اگه اینجوری راحت ترین از اول بگید.
I tolerate sleepiness until the day is over.
Sleepiness.
Sleepiness.
Yes.
I tolerate sleepiness until the day is over, and I try to keep my wake with caffeine.
No, keep my wake. No.
Keep my خودم هوشیار نگه
Yes, but you're
دارم.
translating. Don't translate. Say what the English people say at such situations.
I try to keep myself.
No, you don't have to say it. Stay up. I try to stay up.
I try to stay up with using caffeine.
Yes, caffeine, exactly. Yes, very good. Was that it? Finished?
Yes.
Okay, that was good. That was good, Shirin. And don't worry, you'll learn a lot by practicing more. That was very good. Okay.
Your class is great.
Thank you very much. You are great. You make the class great. Thank you very much. So next session will be a review of this session. Okay. Of course, next week is the review, right? For all the sessions? Yes, for all the sessions. Okay, so hopefully I recorded this session and it will be online.
Very hard week. We will have a hard week.
You will have to have a hard week, yes, of course. Do you still have the guests? I mean, are the guests still there? Do you still have the guests?
Yes.
As if it's a hostage-taking situation. Do you still have the guests? What did I say? Okay, are they still there?
Yes.
Hello?
Are they?
Are they still there? You're breaking up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you think it will be
But
too
right
much for
now,
you to have the review sessions, the 3 review sessions next week, because of the guests, you
yes.
can choose one of the classes not to be held for next week. Just tell me one
Thank
day
you.
before and it will be good. Choose one of the classes and
Okay.
or we can change the day.
Mhm.
But no, I think if you change the
Okay.
day, you still have to do 3 days. So
Mhm.
just omit one of the classes and let me know.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
You too,
weekend.
dear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.